Welcome to the Visionary Talks. I have the pleasure to have Josep here with me. He's one of our rising superstars, I would say. It was a great day. I had enjoyed myself very much to watch you during the session, to see you at theCUBE. You've been talking a lot about AI and machine learning. Can you please share with our audience your key, the key takeaways from your session? Tell us a little bit about why you're excited about AI.
Yeah, so thank you. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Petya. So we had a session actually on AI, machine learning, and why it is coming up at the moment. And we see it every day today in our daily life tasks. If you're a Google Map user, if you're talking to your Alexa or your Siri, then you're using AI or machine learning. But the real reason behind the rise of the AI and machine learning is all about the data and the availability of the data, which we hadn't in the past. So as I said in my session, before scientists, they had only limited sets of the data to train their clusters. Today they have more data, and at the same time, the wide availability and the rise of the GPUs and the CPUs and the ability to do huge processing and these complex algorithms. And at the same time, these were the two angles of the triangle, and the third one is the public availability of the mechanisms and the tools and the architecture and the tools and the algorithms available for AI and machine learning. So they made it's more attainable, I would say, and then everyone now is started incorporating them because of the business value and the return of the investment they have.
So you mentioned, everyone is starting to look into AI and machine learning. Do you have tips for someone who would be who's thinking about doing it and they understand more or less the value and are excited about it? Where would you recommend they start?
So basically, in a typical AI project, we always start with the business value. What do you want to achieve? What's your objectives? And then we move back into the data science team saying that, okay, this is what we want to do, and how we want to do it, what types of data we need to collect, what sources of the data we need to talk to, and then collect data. And after that, it comes the phase of how we implement this, right? So we have the objective, we have the algorithms, we have the data, and how we implement it. Now, the mistake that we usually fall into is we start small, because we probably think that, okay, let's try it, let's test it. And I understand today budgets are limited, people don't want to spend a lot of money on something that might not work. However, most of the time we see, while speaking to our customers, that they move into the next phase, which is the production, and that's where they get stuck, because if they start small, then it's not going to be scalable, it's not going to be cost efficient, etc. So my advice would be is this: consult us from day one, and let us help you build along with our ecosystem partners, people like Cisco, where we're collaborating together to have these high GPU, CPU servers connected to our NetApp Data Fabric story, and then we can build an AI-ready infrastructure for you, which is not only intended to work today, but also for future use cases.
I can't agree more. I think Data Fabric is helping so many customers, and also the community starting to realize the potential of building future-proof infrastructure. So for me, I think my personal takeaway from what you're saying is think big, right?
Yeah, the data is the currency, as they said, and the real takeaway is, and I told this the other day, your diamond is as shiny as the necklace or the ring that holds it, right? If you have an if shiny AI initiative, don't take the bright out of it. Don't underestimate the infrastructure requirements. Don't do it just for today. Do it because you will need it in the future.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things you said is data is the currency, and I hear a lot about data is more valuable than gold. What is your approach on this?
So we hear people saying data is the currency today, and we even hear this from our CEO George saying that. And there's one more thing is also that data has a perishable value. It's like the strawberry, if you would like. It's fresh and it needs to be taken care of at day one, being protected and put it in a fridge or whatever you want to preserve it. And as it goes in time, you have to put it in somewhere else. You have to, let's say, make it frozen, archive it. So that's how we deal with the data as well. And in a typical AI industry or in a typical AI architecture, your data needs to be moved through the life cycle of deep learning phases as we advance from the edge into the core, and then we move the data into the cloud probably, and then archive it for later on. So we believe in NetApp that the performance is important, but that's not the only requirement today for AI and machine learning ready infrastructures. It's more about the data management as the data is born from the sensor to the action. And if you map this to the NetApp Data Fabric story, it's completely resonates. And at every stage, we have something from the portfolio or from this fabric that really hooks with each other and makes your infrastructure very smooth and fulfilling the different requirements of the stages of AI.
Absolutely. Wow. I couldn't say it better. Thanks for sharing your insights with us. One thing before we go, though, I have one last question for you. So, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Well, it would be the, well, that's a tough question. I need to think about it.
I've been known for asking all the tough questions.
Yeah, I think it would be the power of changing the world with data.
I think that's our favorite superpower. That's what we're trying to do every day at NetApp. And, well, thanks for being a data visionary. Thanks for being part of Data Visionary Talks. Thanks for watching.